Breonna Taylor's boyfriend no longer faces charges for firing at officers when they went into her apartment in March, eventually killing Taylor. When the case was dismissed, Kenneth Walker wants immunity to make sure that attempted murder charge doesn't come back up. As Heather Fontaine reports, his lawyer filing a motion requesting that this week.
This is the 911 call Kenneth Walker made after police say he fired at officers the night Breonna Taylor was killed, hitting one officer in the thigh and sending him to the hospital.
I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend.
Walker's attorney, Rob Eggert, said in a motion filed this week, Walker thought he was being robbed and that no one had any idea police were on the scene. He stated that Walker was within his rights to, quote, use his lawfully owned firearm to attempt to repel the intruders who had broken into his girlfriend's home.
A lot of gunshots.
Y'all need to get over here. They're shooting out like crazy.
Last month, Walker's case was dismissed without prejudice, but Commonwealth Attorney Thomas Wine explained if further investigation brought sufficient evidence, he would bring the case back in front of a judge. A new motion asks for permanent dismissal of an indictment charging him with attempted murder and assault, which would mean what went on inside that house involving Walker could never be brought up again criminally. Eggert is also asking a judge to grant Walker immunity from prosecution. The motion also claims the no-knock warrant was not justified, citing untruthful and inaccurate statements in the affidavit, which points to drug traffickers at the apartment with a history of destroying evidence and running from police. The Commonwealth Attorney's Office says once the motion has been formally accepted by the court, they will review it and respond. Heather Fontaine, WHAS 11 News.